Today we're going to be installing a Tial 50mm blow-off valve on my 2017 STI. And for those of you that don't know, this is an atmospheric blow-off valve, meaning we're going to have to change my STI from a MAF-based car to a speed density car. I have the iWire kit that's going to be installed as well today. And I'll be honest with you guys, at the current power level that my STI sits at, and even in the future, I don't believe it warrants an atmospheric blow-off valve. I will be switching back to a bypass valve. I purely did this because I wanted to. I wanted to hear the noise. And honestly, who doesn't love a good blow-off valve? I was really torn between this blow-off valve and the HKS blow-off valve, which I believe are the only two options to run a full atmospheric blow-off valve on the Subaru. I previously had a HKS on my WRX. It sounded amazing, but overall, I'm really happy with the Tial. It sounds great, and it's exactly what I wanted. In the previous videos, we installed an NVIDIA downpipe Grimspeed from my intercooler, so I have a bunch of my parts already removed. The first thing I do is remove the vacuum line connected to your OEM bypass valve. It's super easy to remove, just pull it and it comes right out. Your bypass valve is held onto the OEM top mount intercooler by two 12mm bolts on each side of the flange. I won't be doing this though because I've already done this in part one. I'd say the most challenging part will be getting to the clamp that connects the bypass valve to the big hose that runs to your turbo inlet. I recommend getting some needle nose pliers or some vice grips. It's really going to help out. Once you move the clamp down some, you can pull the OEM bypass valve out and we can finally start installing the new Tial blow-off valve. I knew I was going to need a flange for this blow-off valve as well as the block plate to plug up where the old bypass valve connects back to the turbo inlet. I was a bit iffy on the fitment when I purchased my Torque Solution radiator hoses. They required some extra trimming, but I guess that's the trade-off when you buy cheaper products. I think the reason I chose the Tial blow-off valve over the HKS was because I wanted to make a video showing how to install it on a 2015 to 2021 STI, as well as the speed density setup, just because I don't think I've seen any videos on YouTube with maybe the exception of one or two. And this is the entire kit: the flange, the gaskets, the adapter, the blow-off valve, the V-band clamp, as well as the nipple for the vacuum line. It's basically a bolt that screws into the top of the blow-off valve along with the nipple that passes through it. There's going to be two washers, similar to a banjo bolt fitting. So washer, fitting, washer, bolt. If you noticed, I left the nipple loose and only tightened it by hand since you want to be able to make sure you orient it in the direction the vacuum line is coming from. And since that line is not long, it's definitely important it goes in the right direction. I was double checking that the flange fits the blow-off valve since I bought the blow-off valve and the flange separately. And honestly, that was one of my biggest concerns here, just because with the HKS, at least I know that it fits on the 2015 to 2021 STI. They don't necessarily sell a kit for the Tial blow-off valve for the STI. You kind of just have to make it yourself. That brown O-ring here that I grabbed sits at the bottom of the blow-off valve by the diaphragm. Mine was a bit tricky to get seated just because I had let it deform a bit from the perfect circular shape that it was already in. And to get it back into its original shape, I took the risk and ended up pulling it in different directions after applying some heat just to get it to form back into a circle and get rid of this oval I had. This is the second most annoying part of this entire install, with the first part coming right up after this. At this point, it's really important that the gasket is seated properly. You should not be able to see it whatsoever. And here comes the hardest part of the entire install. The clamp is held together by a Torx bit bolt, and once you unthread it and you open the actual clamp, the clamp needs to sit between the flange and the blow-off valve. The hardest part is to hold the flange and the blow-off valve together, making sure the O-ring doesn't move whatsoever, and at the same time getting the clamp back together in the ridges where they sit in between the flange and the blow-off valve. And somehow you're going to have to do that with one hand while trying to get the bolt back together. I can promise you it is so much harder than it actually sounds, but there is a trick here. You can use a C-clamp, which is used to compress the piston on a brake caliper. The only issue with that is you're going to have to do that while holding the flange and the blow-off valve, making sure nothing else moves, and there's not that much real estate to put the actual clamp on the V-band clamp. So fast forward a little bit, I ended up getting it. I promise you, if you have another person, it's going to make life a lot easier, so that way they can hold it together while you tighten it. And I finally got it together, and all there's left to do is to grab an Allen key and tighten the clamp down. Now it's time to reinstall everything. So what I first want to do here is grab some needle nose pliers in order to open up the butterfly clamp. We do this because there's a giant gaping hole in that hose. You're going to need to put the block plate back into that hose that goes to the turbo inlet since we're not running a bypass valve anymore. But I found no success with this, and I ended up just using those needle nose pliers to get the clamp completely off. Then I inserted the block plate into that hose and then grabbed another set of pliers to be able to get the clamp back onto the hose right where the block plate sits, and that takes care of that. I was having a little bit of a brain fart here, admittedly. I wasn't sure if I wanted to reuse that old bypass valve gasket with the new flange, since the new flange already had a gasket. Hopefully this doesn't offend anybody. It's a little bit of common sense. You don't stack gaskets on top of each other. Now I grab my ratchet with my 12mm socket and tighten the 2 bolts that hold the flange down to the charge pipe. The last step before we get to the eye-wire kit is to correctly orient that nipple on the actual blow-off valve and connect that vacuum line onto that nipple. It's really simple. Just make sure it's fully seated, and then once we orient it correctly, grab an 8mm socket plus a ratchet, and we're going to tighten it down. Just make sure it's tight, not too tight. You don't want to over torque it. And that's it. Congrats, that's the whole install. Now let's jump right into the eye-wire kit. I'm not going to bother explaining what speed density is to you, because more than likely if you're watching this video, you've already done some research on converting your STI to speed density. And on top of that, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I actually fully don't understand the calculations that go behind the physics and math of what speed density is, but as somebody with a degree in physics, I am definitely interested in making a video and teaching you guys about it. As far as installing the eye-wire kit, it's pretty straightforward. There are 2 ends. One end goes to the AEM IAT sensor that should be welded on to the back of the charge pipe that connects to the intake manifold. This is going to be right behind where the Tial sits on the other side of the charge pipe, and then the other side gets connected to the MAF, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for checking out part 4 of this install video series guide. I think it wasn't too bad. I think the Tial looks amazing in the engine bay. I'm really glad I went with the black instead of the red accents in the engine bay. Let me know what you guys think, if it's better with World Rally Blue, red or black. But I think the black looks clean, sleek. And yeah, thank you for checking out another video. And hopefully you guys stay tuned for part 5, and I'll see you then.